What is up everybody, Nash here, and today we're going to discuss about a major update that the Culling got. So the patch was really huge. It was 2.2 gigabytes and it contains a lot of changes. So let's dive into it. First off, not so many of you were hoping that we would get female models, but the devs delivered and we got the female models. They're not disappointing, they're really well done, and there's a lot of things you can change about them. So you can change the models the same thing as the men, and you can get clothing for women as the men, but you don't have the initial clothing. Some of the clothing does match, like hats and heads, but the rest you have to farm throughout the game. So whenever you finish the game, there's a possibility of getting either a male or a female drop, or both sometimes. So there'll both be different rarities, so you'll not ever get the same rarity items. Among the new changes are the 3 new airdrops. We have the Polecat, Cyclops, and the Bait Crate. I managed to get only Polecat. It was really hard to get because of the Surprise Me Crate, unless you get lucky with Loot Pinata or something like that. So the Polecat has Trident, Survival Spear, and Javelin, and costs 105 funk. And the Cyclops has Trident, Orange Juice, and Body Armor for only 110 funk, which is a good deal, unless they're gonna nerf that. And the last one is the Bait Crate. There's a decoy airdrop that will explode upon opening and will deal 20 damage to a player who opens it. So by the default, it is available for 50 funks. So if you want to lure some players and actually just use that crate to lure them and damage them a bit and slow them down to kill them, you can do that. But I probably wouldn't recommend that. So the next thing I want to talk about are the graphical changes of the map. A lot of parts of the map have been updated. When I entered the game, it looked quite differently than it used to be. Everything was more shinier, more polished. Some parts of the map were changed, like where the little bunker was, it was completely changed. Now it looks like a real bunker near the middle. And there's like actual drain pipes and everything, so I really like that change. Of course, some other parts of the map were changed, like buildings were changed in a way that some have roof. Even though that was from the previous patch, now it looks all more polished. Of course, the cabinets look different too. The cabinets are not green anymore, they are grayish colors and really feel good when looking at them from distance and from close by. Now considering new stuff, we have 2 new weapons. We have the Trident and we have the Cudgel. The Trident is a tier 4 spear and the Cudgel is a crafted bludgeon. So if you want to craft the bludgeon, you're running a bludgeon build, you can craft it, but it is expensive because you need to craft it through knife, axe, and then a cudgel. So it takes almost all of your funk and doesn't leave that much funk to be healed up. So you gotta be careful when making cudgel to actually find some funk and not get easily killed. Now next to the weapons that have been added, there are some changes about the weapons themselves. Axes and spears have been changed. Spears do not have any more bleed and axes do not have the slow. Axes now have a debuff that they apply on a target depending on what intensity it is. So every next attack is gonna increase damage to the target by 5, 10 or 15% respectively of the tier of the weapon. It is a good thing because if you get a higher tier weapon like a fireman's axe and you hit somebody, it's gonna mean a lot of damage to that target. Now the spears have been changed in a way that they have a passive called Pierce. Pierce allows all damage to a target to bypass the opponent's armor. So if an opponent has an armor, you're not gonna be hitting that armor. And at the same time, the piercing effect is gonna break the armor with each hit. So it is a really cool thing to have the spear to actually remove the person's armor and then just hit them with the main weapon that you do not find yourself difficult to play with. Of course, the one thing that has been changed is the throw damage. Now, there is an indication for every weapon. There is like the damage you deal via melee and the damage you deal via a throw. So every weapon is gonna have the melee damage and the throw damage, and it is changed for every weapon. So some weapons that used to be good for a throw, they are not. So respectively for the tier, I think the higher tier deal more damage, but usually some axes have a greater throw damage. So some airdrops are gonna be useful again, as is the golden arm with some airdrops and perk. While talking about new perks, we have 4 new perks. We have Dig Deep, Angry Octopus, Inhuman, and Thicker Clotting. Dig Deep is a perk that gives you 30 health when damage should kill you. So let's say somebody is about to kill you, have 5 HP, somebody attacks you melee, and you instantly gain plus 30 health. And you can do that only once per match. So if you're in a pinch and you don't think you can win, always take this perk in order to make the victory possible. Now the next one is the Angry Octopus. This is a really good perk and really smart from the devs to make some inventive perks like this. So when you are reduced below 30 HP, you automatically drop a smoke bomb, and it has a 30-second cooldown. So it drops a smoke bomb right beneath you, it blinds the enemy, gives you the opportunity to run away if you have stealthy, or if you're like close to a health station you can heal up and stuff like that, or if your enemy is low on health too, you can probably finish him off. So it is a really good perk. The next perk is the Inhuman. You cannot be tracked with a man tracker and immune to alarm gun. So while joking about some things that they could add, they actually added this one. So you cannot be tracked with a man tracker. You do not appear on it. So you're basically invisible to people, especially when people are trying to find somebody and you're just crafting something and you do not want to be found. And you are immune to alarm guns. So if somebody shoots you with an alarm gun, they're probably gonna get the extra 5 funk, but they are not gonna get the sound effect. And the last perk is the Thicker Clotting. It reduces duration of all wounds by 50%. So the reduced wound duration for the bludgeon and the axe have been removed. Those perks have been removed, and it has been added into general defense. So I think it's a better choice if somebody really wants that reduced duration, but considering that only blades have bleeds now, and the bludgeons and spears are really powerful now, I don't think a lot of people will be playing blades. Another thing that has been changed is the shoving. Shoving has been fixed finally, and I'm grateful for that. So there is an increased launch delay to the shove, so you have an opportunity to actually do not block and not get staggered. So shove doesn't have the usual stagger that it had, like you cannot put your block up that easily. So I really like that change. And shove does not stop somebody from charging an attack anymore. So if you have a charge attack and somebody shoves you, it doesn't break it. Shove was previously faster, which gave it advantage to players. So slowing it down a bit really feels good. Also, the new things that they have added is the 2 levels of loot, the ultra rare loot, and adjusted the rarity color to white, green, blue, yellow, purple, orange, and red. So the red is the last one, but they have added a couple one. What I didn't talk about is the things that are in the main menu. Now you can play private matches with your friends. Yeah, private matches. So you can either create a lobby or join a lobby. Use the code that you type in and join a player's or a friend's lobby to play with them. Of course, when playing private matches, you do not get items because that would be considered abusing, because you would get some higher tier items that you could sell on Steam and stuff like that. So abuse has been prevented by the developers. So one applause for them. Now the other thing that has been added are the Trials of the Isle matches. So what is that? Basically, if you win a match in a free-for-all, you get a token, and those tokens you can expend from Friday to Sunday. So every Friday to Sunday, Trials of the Isle servers open up, and in them, if you get a lot of kills, or if you get a win, basically, you get ultra rare items that you cannot get this way in a free-for-all. So if you're a hardcore kind of player and want to get something that nobody else has, be kind of special, you would want to consider playing that. I hope you guys like my discussion about what is new and what is to come. I mean, the Trials of the Isles, hoping to play that. So yeah, share this video if you want to share it, like it if you like it, dislike it if you disliked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, of course, it would mean a lot. I'll make other Culling videos and some other game videos. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you next time.